Well, it was a normal day. I'd worked hard on a piecework job at the factory. I'd gotten off, and it was my daughter's birthday. So I stopped at Rock Drug and picked her up a teddy bear. I noticed when I got about Cooksville that the raindrops that something was squeezing raindrops out very slowly. Opened the back door, and it felt like the air was leaving, it was going to the south. It's like you would open a pool and let the water out. And I looked above the trees, and I could see three black clouds. We wrapped her up, and we had an old Indian blanket, and it started to rain real heavy, and we had like continuous strikes of lightning. And then all of a sudden it stopped. It was a F4 tornado. It was a killer tornado. It started in Jared, Texas. It killed people there, killed people in Alabama and Mississippi, and now it was upon us. A giant mesocyclone, F4. There was debris, shingles and stuff hitting the back door. And I also had a green truck, which had rebarb and landscaping timbers and large nails right behind the back door. And I said, well, this is not going to be a good place. We got to the lowest part of the trailer. As soon as we were in a tumbling position, bam, it hit. You could hear the china cabinet breaking, glass shattering everywhere. The I-beams went 50 foot in the air. We went over one time, 3/4 of the trailer collapsed. We tumbled one time. Our feet ended up on the wall, our backs to the ceiling, and we actually feel the room we were left in sliding further down the ground. When it stopped, Helen was crying a little bit. She was in a blanket, and my wife said, let's get out of here before it comes back. Well, I told her, I said, well, now look, there's a power cable there and there's water. So let me go ahead and watch where I step at, hand me the baby, and we're out of here. So we got out of there, we got in the car. The cars were still right behind the trailer. And I moved a little piece of dead wood off the road, and we went. So I made arrangements for my family to be in my friend's house so they could sleep. And I decided to go ahead and get a rifle and back my truck in the woods because they were still trying to steal things up till 10 o'clock. They tried to steal the battery out of my truck. And I was praying I could hear a piece of sheet metal move because I was going to put a short 22 in somebody's behind. And then the next day, we had Mennonites driving Amish, and we had 50 people approximately, maybe 35 to 50 people working on it. And we had this house in the dry in 7 hours. The only part we didn't have in the dry was right over the bathroom part, the eave over the bathroom, and another thunderstorm come up. And man, the casualties, there was 2 casualties, probably 3/10 of a mile. They were coming back from the grocery store. The tornado itself killed the man, her husband, and stripped her naked and threw her in a ditch. And by the time another neighbor had found her, she was saying, help me, and she just covered up with a raincoat. She died. Another man down there on 27 lifted his car straight up and then just commenced to just drop it head first. He died later on. My understanding, there was one big one and there was 7 little ones going around it. And that's not counting the suction vortices wherever they were lightened. And a suction vortex is just as strong as the measurement of the tornado, which was a F4. That little suction vortex, I always thought, well, that's a F1. That thing was the F4, just as strong as the mothership.